hope. When you look around at surging coronavirus cases, deep political divisions, economic uncertainty, hope might seem hard to find. On the front lines of this pandemic, medical workers are leaning on each other, including an Oklahoma nurse who became a COVID patient herself.
As a patient, then I've seen things on the other side that I normally don't see as a nurse. A lot of things changed the way I nurse now. I had one nurse say a prayer in my ear one time when I was going downhill real fast.
If you take a second to reflect, this year has changed all of us in immeasurable ways. And now with Thanksgiving just 2 weeks away, our family celebrations will also likely be different, but they don't need to be without hope. I want to turn now to Bishop T.D. Jakes. He is, of course, the founder and senior pastor of the Potter's House Church in Dallas. Pastor Jakes, good to see you again, my friend. Thanks for your time. Families across this country dealing with the added stress of trying to figure out how to celebrate the holidays safely in the middle of a pandemic. What would you tell our viewers and listeners, Pastor Jakes, to take a bit of the weight off their spirits?
You know, first of all, Craig, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on your show. I think it's important that we as Americans we've been spoiled. We've had all the luxuries. We've had all the opportunities. We've had it our way. We've got that Burger King mentality, but we need to back up just a moment and sacrifice just a little bit of our normal festivities for the longevity of being able to continue long term. That sacrifice doesn't mean suffering. It just means that we have to rethink ways that we can enjoy ourselves and ways we can Zoom together, ways we can connect with other people, and ways we can enjoy ourselves without being so bent on having it our way that we end up killing the people that we love.
What can Americans do, Bishop Jakes, to help their fellow citizens during this time when so many are struggling mightily with just the emotional burden of what's happening around us?
You know, I can tell you what I do. I've tried to be more sensitive. I text my friends more often. I check on them more readily. I give them calls in the evening or in the morning to not to assume that everybody's okay, when in fact we have ingested so much stress and pressure. We have so many ways to get bad news and so few ways to get good news. You can get bad news through text. You can get it through the internet. You can get it through television. You can get it anywhere you want it 24 hours a day. And so we have to be much more intentional about just notes of love and encouragement and thinking about you and positivity. And these electronic hugs may not seem like much, but they're the best we can do for right now.
Amen to that. We just had a consequential election in our country. Tensions are high. Diving into this holiday season, what can folks do to reach out to one another, hopefully draw just a little closer to understanding someone who might have opposing viewpoints, if you will?
You know, we have historically been quite adaptable. We've survived the vicissitudes historically of many adversities that have come on in our lives. Our incumbent president Vice President Biden is talking a lot about unity and connectivity, and those ideas are very, very good. But really around the table, in the office, over the fence posts, interacting with people that broadening our tent to be more inclusive than people who think like us, resisting the temptation to become tribal, resisting the temptation to allow other people to tell us how they are and those people are like this. We've got to get away from that, because that is destroying not only democracy, but the fiber of our civilization will not survive if we continue down the path that we're on right now.
This year, Bishop Jakes, our country faced, among other things, this racial reckoning after the death of George Floyd. Black men and women voters just lifted Joe Biden to the White House in a number of important states. We have our first Black female vice president-elect. Can you take a moment to just reflect on the significance of this moment?
You know, we are always evolving. We saw the first black president put into office. Now we see the first female, biracial female put into office. And I think it is something that our country is still struggling with, trying to heal and regain our equilibrium through America's first sin. And I think that we're sitting at the table as Black people in a very significant place right now, where we have an opportunity to finally be heard. And I think that's very, very important. What we say from here is important. We have lived between two polarities. The Democrats thought they couldn't lose us, and the Republicans thought they couldn't win us. And so neither one of them really were too concerned about us. We have to be careful that we make sure that the people that we put in office don't forget that we help to impact them being put in office, regardless to who you voted for. And at the end of the day, we must hold them accountable, but not solely them. We cannot absolve ourselves from the responsibility of representing ourselves in such a way that we reshape and reform how society sees us.
Bishop T.D. Jakes, you always make us feel just a little bit better about all of it. Bishop, thank you. And I would encourage folks to check out the Bishop's Instagram account. If you can't sit down for a 60-minute service, you can go and get some nice bite-sized pieces there on his IG page. Bishop, thank you. Enjoy your weekend, sir.
Thank you. Have a great one.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.